Planned Parenthood now suing the Trump administration. The lawsuit stems from a provision in the new tax and spending law that would defund the organization because it also provides abortions. The nonprofit says abortions account for only 3% of its services. Officials also say the law unconstitutionally eliminates patients' ability to be able to use Medicaid as their insurance at any of its health centers. So this all comes as the federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from enforcing the provision. Lots to talk about here. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Clay Rhodes, who joins us now on this conversation. So explain what's really going on here.
I mean, the main portion of it is that people will attempt to make this an abortion, a pro-life versus, non-pro-life argument. But it's not. Planned Parenthood is saying that this is a Medicaid concern, specifically that you have folks that are not now going to be able to use their insurance to go to Planned Parenthood to get things like birth control, cancer screening, and STD testing, which makes up the bulk of what Planned Parenthood does. But in the Republican side, defunding Planned Parenthood has been part of the overall scheme. And the Trump administration is now, with this implementation of the bill, is now making due on that promise that he ran on by saying we would find ways to limit people's access to abortion. Well, how do we limit people's access to abortion? It's the mifepristone prescriptions first, but then also getting access to limiting the locations where they can do it. Two different approaches. They've done it in both.
Wow. All right. So look, this legislation, got to talk about it, which Trump signed on Friday, also referred to as the Big Beautiful Bill. It does not explicitly mention Planned Parenthood, but it's in the crosshairs. So explain that a little.
It doesn't mention it explicitly, but it does mention it in dollars and cents. And so if you're defunding, taking funds away, and you're saying that those funds will now be utilized and sent and diverted to other locations, it has done exactly what they've talked about doing throughout this entire process. On the other side of it, you have the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life Coalition, and they're saying that, look, this is Planned Parenthood's own work that's put them in this own crisis, and because they've been now placed in this crisis, you can't run to the court and try to get the court to fix something that you have created. I think ultimately this judge is going to block it, as they've done. It goes to the Court of Appeals because the Trump administration will ultimately appeal. On appeal, I think the court will then look at what the Supreme Court has said, most recently looking at this type of case, because if you remember, South Carolina had a similar case that went to Planned Parenthood, and it made its way all the way up to the Supreme Court about funding, about choice, about Medicaid selection. And so this issue has kind of already been addressed-ish. But that court sent it back to the lower courts to address it again. I think we're in that same situation, that if it ultimately makes its way up to the Supreme Court, they'll rule the same way they ruled in the South Carolina case, which is they have the ability to limit, and this is just a new approach to that same argument. First, it was the state limiting access to the funds. Now it's the federal government limiting access to the funds. But the court has already spoken on this issue. Very
interesting to point out, too, Khalif. In South Carolina, 1 in 4 people are on Medicaid. So that is a large percentage of the population that you're talking about that this affects. And when you talk about the services, just as you said, cancer screenings, abortion, a very low percentage of the clients, of the types of things that they're not going to have. I mean, this is going to be the biggest issue that we're facing. I do want to point out, though, that Planned Parenthood is also battling the Trump administration in court over cuts to federal teen pregnancy prevention programs. So how do you see all of this playing out?
I mean, I see, first of all, it playing out in the eye of court of public opinion, but also in the actual real courtroom. So now you're talking about increased costs in litigation, increased costs in fighting appeals, and back and forth going to court for cases like this. Because the second this ended, you're following an appeal because you don't like the ruling. Yeah, the president can come out with a tweet that says he doesn't like what they're saying, but in the background, he's having folks file claims to appeal any decision that they don't like. This ultimately gets appealed so it can make its way back to the court, and then at some point you'll be able to merge these complaints, and they'll be able to say, well, we have multiple different jurisdictions that are giving a different view and a different opinion of the same topic. You have South Carolina. This is talking about Utah. You've had Massachusetts that also has addressed this same issue. At some point, the Supreme Court will have to address it holistically, especially if you don't want inferior courts, these U.S. district courts, granting nationwide injunctions. So now this judge is going to make this injunction specific to the folks that brought the claim, but you have other folks that are going to be affected in other states that will ultimately have to bring their own. As I mentioned before, this will have to make its way to the Supreme Court to get some type of finality, or we'll continue to see folks filing claims to individual states.
Clay Rhodes, we always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.